Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by AcousticHealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Welcome, everyone. We are here with a very engaging light being. Lee Colliver-Richards, with Conversations with Love, is a beautiful spirit here to share some beautiful wisdom that releases us from the third density and allows us to step into higher frequencies of love and joy and our authentic self. Hello, Lee. Welcome.
Hello, Loren. Thank you so very much. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. It's like meeting a good friend for the very first time after all these years, you know?
Really fun. And you are someone who lives your passion. You're full of passion. You are a former kindergarten teacher, and you bring that joy with you in just the way that you radiate your love. Share for our listeners how you awoke to what you're doing today.
Wow. Well, I guess it was to how can I say this? I I started school when I was only 2, and I'd finished third grade by the age of 6. And then I got put in public school. So that's kind of when the um, the unawakening began.
Yeah, I mean, you graduated from third grade when you were 6 years old.
Yes,
So there you were put into this accelerated path in education.
yes.
Did that strip you from something?
N- well, no, it actually gave me the capacity to recognize that every one of us has a genius that exists, and every one of us has talents. You know, there's a beautiful gospel song that talks about everyone has one talent, and it's learning to to get to know your unique talent and allow it to be in the world. What starting school and being always the youngest kind of had me do was become a little arrogant.
Because you were seen as a smart child.
That's right.
Um, mhm.
You no, not normal.
Okay.
And
When did you
so
graduate from high school then?
15.
At 15, and then did you go to college after that?
Well, actually I did, but first the college wouldn't accept me. I grew up in Canada, and so the university in our town said no, you can't even apply. So my parents were they just wanted to get me out of the house.
They knew you were smart and they wanted to give you the best that they could.
They totally did. And a friend of theirs was an engineer on sabbatical in France, and his eldest daughter was staying behind to take the exams at the lycée in France. So they sent me to this little town in France, and I boarded with a French family, learned to speak French, and found out through that experience that I really didn't know anything. And I suppose that would have been the beginning of my true awakening
Would
at
you say that the
15.
foreign country experience gave you that perspective?
Without question.
Yes, this is where in our new earth, as we rebuild programs, wouldn't it be wonderful for all high school students to go outside the country?
Without question.
Okay.
Because learning a new language wakes up parts of your brain. and it activates a deeper learning, and it also humbles you, because it's like that first experience you have as a baby. The babies come in, I mean, oh, look at me, right? Take care of me. Here I am. Look, look, look. I can do anything, right? And then you get to know the rhythms, and to learn a new language is so humbling. That was my awakening, was this humbling, this sense
Ah,
of, you really don't know what you don't know. And there's so much more to life than what you think you know and what you've been told is the truth. I mean, imagine, people. I grew up in Saskatchewan, Canada. My mother was a farm. Her family were farmers, and no electricity, no running water. My grandpa had to put a rope around his waist to go out to the barns, because Saskatchewan's all flat, and if you're in the snow you can't see anything. The horizon and the sky and the land are all the same. So those beginnings as basically a settler in a native land, we we were very insulated. We were very isolated. We were insular, provincial in our outlook of life. Mark Twain says travel is the enemy of bigotry. And truly, this experience that my parents gave me was wonderful. And the woman who was the eldest of the engineer's family, who suggested I go do this, she is still my friend to this day. So I highly recommend it. I'm going to kind of digress a bit, but you mentioned something about New Earth. To me, New Earth is the Earth. It's the Earth that we have not been experiencing. It's the cultures and the depth of knowledge and the wealth of experiences, and the allowing of these unique talents that everyone possesses to
beautiful.
just blossom and just share. I mean, we in my kindergarten classroom,
And by the way,
I
you have a golden halo on a sunbeam on your crown chakra right
well,
now.
that's
And that's
that's this
perfect timing.
this beautiful place that we live in central coast of California after 40 years in the city of Los Angeles. So life does give you gifts if you ask for it.
Okay, so
um,
sorry, go ahead. Yes.
so what I was saying about the kindergarten classroom, so we started this school in 2009. And the idea of this school was to create a community, an entire community. So parents are included, children are included. They're the ones who are directing their learning. Every one of us has an innate curiosity, something that we just want to go towards, that we're drawn to, but our limited experiences as children doesn't we don't know. So it's up to the adults to help direct that beautiful energy, right? So we started this school, and it was completely project based, and there was no sense of, okay, you're in this classroom and you can only know these children and you can only know this teacher and only have that experience. It was the entire school community. And we access the curriculum through projects. And there's a school in Italy called Reggio Emilia schools, and they're an entire community. The entire Italian community is the school, and everybody's involved. So our kindergarten to first grade, I went with them. So I would be the kindergarten teacher, then we'd go to first grade, and then we'd be the community of first grade with new teachers. And we had a project called the Culture Project. Oh, Lorraine. Now imagine this, a classroom of about 25 children, just about every country in the world represented, because you think of Los Angeles as a melting pot that it is, right? 15 different languages. You should have seen the culture board. We had shoes from Pakistan and food from Tibet and Native American sage and British scones. You name it, it was there. And the parents would come in, and we had oh, it was just so miraculous. And the children got to learn about themselves without the pressure of, oh, this culture is better than that culture, or that language is smarter than this language, or this way of thinking is a better way of approaching whatever. They really saw the richness and the wonder, and they learned about themselves and about others in ways that uplifted everyone. And to me, that is exactly what you do in New Earth Now. You know, whatever resonates, you gravitate towards, and then you explore further. And when it stops resonating, you go find something else. You let your curiosity direct you towards that which makes your heart just blow open and get excited.
So, did you create this school or this was modeled after that school?
No, actually, I learned about Reggio Emilia afterwards. I was one of the co-members of the school. We were
And so, but you built a school in 2009?
yes, in Los Angeles, and it's part of the public school system there. It's not
That's
a,
great.
a separate school that people couldn't access, and it's just it was a beautiful experience. I really love it, and I value it tremendously. And to me, it's like that's kind of my research, my social science research that I still dabble into, and my heart pulls me towards. I'm actually working with a group in India who is beginning a school in India called SSS Anandvan, and we are working together to co-create it as a newer school.
You have a lot going on, and it's beautiful because you are following the heart joy and allowing or creating opportunities that allow children to be free in that way. So, all right, that's incredible. And that's the other side of Lee that that's like really working in the world, making great strides. I mean, it's already part of a school in Los Angeles. Again, you should be commended for that because it
Thank
really is beautiful. There's another side to you, and this is this joyful healing side and helping people get out of that old paradigm. And so there's something you have you've got a program that's called Your Very Good Body Revival. And so let's talk about what this is. What do you mean by this? What's going on here?
Okay, well, I left public school in 2017, and um, and having been in public education for nearly 30 years, I didn't realize the extent, excuse me, the extent to which I had really tamped down and damped down what we would call our spiritual body, our spiritual self. And so it was really in 2017 when I began a more spiritual journey for me. And and I guess what I know is some of the coping mechanisms that I created would be to like close my heart, and people who have kind of like they're a little bit more introverted perhaps, or they kind of like to hold everything really close because of, it's kind of hard sometimes in the world. When you're too, quote, too much, too out there, too whatever. That's how it started. And what I discovered was that I have a spiritual body, that there is a soul that I'm a part of. And and then I realized, oh, there's a part of me that's emotional, that sees the world and processes the world through my emotions. And then there's this physical body. And well, I just have to let you know, in 2017, I was about 40 pounds heavier than I am now. And just not fit. I had been in 3 back-to-back totaled car accidents, where I got smashed from behind, or somebody
Wow.
ran a red light and smashed into me. And so I had
So the universe was really trying to wake you up. But you're
really
saying,
waken me.
okay, so that was another level. I mean, all right, here you were already aware, but there was something that really knocked on your door, so to speak, right? Because you realized that something was missing. Your heart was closed.
Yeah.
Many people don't even know what that means.
No, it's true. I didn't either.
So what
I didn't
happened?
either. I
Was it
mean,
these car crashes that,
no, I think it was the process of wanting to be well, wanting to be feel good in my body, wanting to, and truthfully, being more aware of the truth of being, of what a human being is. We are spiritual beings. I had denied myself the right to feel.
mm,
So everything was a mask. And isn't it interesting, the time we live in, right? Like, everything in my life was a mask. And because I'd had such an accelerated life as a young child, right? And I'd had so many incredible experiences. I mean, to be able to live in France safely as a 15-year-old without my parents? I mean, jeez. Okay? Right? Like freedom, or so I thought. And I just, at some point, and we might get into it and we might not, but at some point I couldn't take the pain. And so because I couldn't take the pain that the world gives us, and I felt so alone because I had no spiritual anchor. And the spiritual anchor is nothing more than being one with nature and enjoying a walk in the park, seriously. Or tending to a plant, or cooking a good meal with consciousness and rejoicing in it. But I had denied myself for decades the right to feel. Basically, I just couldn't take it anymore. And so the imbalance in my being, the spiritual body, the emotional body, the mental body, the physical body. And if I were to be honest, I probably lived 30 years entirely in a mentally imbalanced body. And there was nothing else. It was like, oh, you get too far into feelings? Nope, nope, not going
oh,
there.
so you were really in the mind,
Yeah, completely.
headstrong. Wow.
And
I just
arrogant
felt
again.
just big shivers because so much, I mean, that's our world. Our world is in the mind. And that's what this whole journey is about, is coming into the heart. It's beautiful to hear your story of how you did that. Okay, continue.
Well, thank you. um, well, yeah, like the universe will send us signs, right? and we can either pay attention or not. And it wasn't just once I had a car accident, it was 4 times.
Ah, for the great new foundation that you were building,
Okay, four
right?
times,
4 times.
4 times. And quote unquote, none of them were my fault. As far as, I'm sitting at a stop sign and I get hit by somebody who's going 90 miles an
So
hour.
what happened? So, all right, that got your attention for something, and then was it after the fourth accident that you said,
It was really truly the journey to heal. I want to tell you a story about my granny. She was of Czechoslovakian descent and married my grandfather when she was in her late 30s, and she was a career woman, and this is in the early 1900s, and she wanted to be a lawyer. Wasn't allowed. Wasn't something that was allowed in Canada. And so she married my my grandfather in the early 1900s at a very late age, and then had my mother and her brother about 7 years after that. So she was like a really late birther in early times, and she was what I suppose you would call a medicine woman, because she knew the land, she knew the flowers. I remember when I was very young, it was springtime, and she would have a garden in front of the farmhouse, which was a sod cabin in Saskatchewan. Like, and and she would take like little snapdragons, and she'd go, "You want to hear the flowers talk?" And she'd pinch it, and she'd make the flower actually talk, right? And she would boil herbs and things to make. But I didn't. That all of that was rejected by the modern world that I was put into, this intellectual school life that I was put into. And why did I go back to that? Because what these car accidents did is, first you go, I get taken to the hospital, and they put me on the stretcher, and and literally, I'm not kidding, the doctor walks in and says, "Can you squeeze my finger?" And he pulls up my hand and he puts it around his hand, and he says, "Squeeze, come on, squeeze. Okay, you can go home." And that's modern medicine. And it's all paid for by insurance. And they call health insurance health care. So basically, I would have to say, Lorraine, what you've led me to realize is that that journey was my healing journey. It was to keep seeking. No, this isn't right. I haven't found the right one. And I kept. So then I was introduced to acupuncture and massage and and chiropractic, which scared me to no end. Different modalities of physical therapy, and still not working. And so, what did it lead me to discover? It led me to discover that we are our healers, that the open heart to the Most High Source is our healer. The earth is our healer. And that's, that seeking, I haven't found it, I haven't found it. And that journey is what led me to realize and open my spiritual body.
yes, and it shows. Absolutely. The world thanks you because that is an inspiration to others who feel lost, who may feel that same way, just blinders on to other things in their life, the spiritual side, the heart, right? Just feeling compassion for others and really tapping into solution energy. When we work in this heart space, we bring forward beautiful things. We do create heaven on earth. So thank you for your journey. Now you're a guide to help others get there as well. So, this program that you've developed, actually, you've got many, there's much going on in your life, but today we're talking about this beautiful program, Your Very Good Body Revival. And it goes into these areas, the spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical. So
Yes.
share with us a little bit more about how this benefits your clients because you've done this in your life.
Okay, so I'll just say um, that that waking up means what? It means becoming aware, right? I was living in so much grief and denial, yet refusing to feel why I was in so much grief and denial. And so basically, if I were to say, how what this program does is it dehypnotizes you. It allows you to just wake up with some relief and just go, oh, I'm not wrong. I'm not creating mayhem and violence, and or at least I'm not wanting to do that. What can I shift? How can I look at myself? How can I talk to myself in a way that is uplifting, in a way that lets my own heart give me some compassion and give me some support. And just like this very good body wants to support us in every way. And each level of our being is another avenue. So it's like wherever you feel you've denied yourself, that's where I would start with this program. So say for example you were like me and totally in your head and just like, no, I'm not going to feel it. I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to just do what I do and I'm good at it. So I'm just going to keep going what I'm good at and just be small and kind of petty. That's just me, okay? I'm not saying they're petty, but like that was just I recognized how petty I was, how little I was in my thinking, denying myself the right to even think, to tell you the truth. So I started, for me, it was the mental body. It was the mental body really coming off of this autopilot, just not even aware. Because how else could those car accidents have happened? I
Right.
wasn't aware of
Yeah.
myself in the world.
Open your eyes.
Yes.
Yes.
Open your eyes, all
Open
of
your
them.
eyes. All of them. The third,
All of
fourth,
them,
fifth
right?
eye. Yes. Wow. And let alone even beginning to meditate. There are some who say, absolutely not, I cannot meditate. Well, that should be even the call to go learn or practice even
I
more.
just can we just do like just a minute of breathing together, because seriously, I'm feeling a little bit like I'm spitting again because I'm excited, and this is really remarkable to me. This is such a gift. So, it's just like, what have I even been conscious of my breath during this interview? Have I even allowed myself to be fully present in this interview? Like, just take a few deep breaths and just feel the energy, this life force energy that is you. And there it is, just in your breath, right? So meditation is what? It's just resting in the awareness of your breath and just pausing and just going, oh, there it is. Okay, there's my spiritual body. There is the inspiration. Okay, heart. Okay, heart. What are you telling me? Oh, yeah. All is well, right? Just be open. Like, think about it as a kid when you were, I don't know if you enjoyed school, but like I loved learning. It was so exciting to me, right? gee, you put some vinegar with some baking soda, and boom, you can blow up a balloon. Wow, is that ever cool? Well, what does that mean? How's that possible? You put a lima bean in some water and put it in the sun in the window, and all of a sudden it's got these shoots. Jack and the Beanstalk, right? So, like, just allowing yourself to relish in the miracle of every moment of our lives and the beauty of it, and just well, so this meant Your Very Good Body Revival is the title really tells you, like, what I'd love for people to start to recognize and honor this very good body. Just like, wow, like, because I really feel as though, we are the earth, right? We are the earth. We are all states of matter at every time, at every moment. We are earth. We are solid land. We are fire, the digestive fire and all of the chemical um, reactions that are happening to make our digestive system work. And we are air with this breath. And we are water. What are we, 70 or 80% water in our blood? So it's like, as we honor our very good bodies, how much more will we honor this planet, Mother Nature, so much more, and have gratitude, and then start to see each other. I mean, there are so many peoples on this earth that know great wisdom of the earth and the natural ways and the cosmos. Right? There's so much more to explore that we haven't given ourselves the time that we're given in these beautiful bodies to enjoy and to explore and to discover and to share. So I would say Your Very Good Body Revival is like a new earth revival, man. Like, I want to have a party, okay?
Let's talk a little bit about some of the practices that you offer in that course. So, what do you do on a daily practice to assist yourself with that?
When I first come to conscious awareness in bed in the morning, and I'm aware that I'm alive and awake, okay, then that's when I start to give my mental body direction and begin the conversation with love. And, I'll say I might say a prayer, um, you know, Angel of Joy, descend upon the earth and give beauty to all beings, which is one of the Essene prayers. Or I'll say my little mantras. I am creating peace, harmony, laughter, love, integrity, truthfulness, dignity, beauty, and power through divine love for all energy in all dimensions. Creator of all that is, it is commanded that all energy in all dimensions define itself as these attributes. And then I'll give thanks for all of the life support. And it's just whatever is in my awareness. Sometimes if I've had dreams, I'll ask myself, what does this mean to me today? And then I'll do Abhyanga, which is a it it's an Ayurvedic process from India, which is their medicine system, the Ayurvedic medicine system, and it's basically means self-love massage. So, start with running the 10 dragons through my hair, and then I'll be nice to my joints, so I'll pinch and turn my joints, give a squeeze on the muscles, and give a little roll on the joints, and start with my fingers, and then I'll just work through my body, and then I'm ready to get out of bed. And then there's three things that I do every morning. So I'll just get out, stretch like a downward dog. Then I'll do 10 squats, 10 push-ups, and 10 jumping jacks. And then I'll go,
10
wash and
squats, 10 jumping jacks, 10 push ups.
yep.
And so you just do that. You don't need to give yourself any pressure to do more, or that's
No,
just all you do.
that's just what
See,
I
that's a
do.
new earth mentality as well. Because when you first started, you mentioned 40 pounds heavier.
Yeah,
What were those 10 push ups like?
they weren't possible. I didn't get off the ground.
So, okay, 10 push ups. It's simple, people. 10 push ups, 10 jumping jacks, maybe 10 sit ups, 10 squats, and that's it.
That's it. And then it's like, okay, then I'll come out of the bedroom once I'm dressed, or sometimes not. Sometimes I won't get dressed. And then it goes, and here's the other thing. It's like, don't, like, what I've recognized is go with the flow. If I don't do that total ritual, I'm not going to beat myself up. It's like, no, that's the whole point. To go with the flow. Oh, well, maybe I just want to go for a walk this morning before I have, you know, breakfast or tea or coffee or whatever it is that I'm going to have that morning. Or, maybe I want to just sit outside and watch the sunrise, or maybe the sun's already been up for hours, and I'm going to clean bathrooms. I mean, it just depends, you just go with the flow.
And so that's important for those who are leaving the corporate matrix, for example, striking out on their own business, where it's not this get up and go rush anymore or checking your emails first. I mean, for some people, sure, it could. But what you're doing is taking time yourself before you engage in the computer or the mental body too much. You're really taking time to be in your own energy and
And
honor
listen,
that. That's
and
why, that's what, when you said you're honoring this body, you're honoring all the bodies. And now you're describing how you do it.
yeah,
It really means, because so when you do start your day that way and you're in that place, or even if you stop and play with your dog or your cat, or you do something that brings you joy, when you do go and engage in that mental world or the mental aspect of what needs to get done for that day, you're in a different vibration that brings in new creativity.
completely. There it is. That's the word. That's the word right
Inspiration,
there. It's like
inspiration, inspired action.
inspired action, and creativity is our true nature. And within that creativity that is our true nature, every one of us, then we've each got a very special talent.
Yes.
And
And
it's learning to nurture that talent and partner with life.
that's it. And all of us, if all we do is bring people or assist, get into our heart first, and then assist others in truly living from the heart, compassion, respect, joy, harmony, peace, we've done our job. If we can, I think that's why we're here. Not
Oh, yes.
necessarily to help others, because we're not here to save or to keep people from their own awakening. but just to simply be present in the heart.
Well, think about it. I mean, a hermit can live just fine by themselves. Someone can live completely alone. I mean, look at Bigfoot, right? I mean, there are people who live completely in nature without any other human life
Mm,
or any other human creation than their own. That's not me. I I I I thrive on collaboration. I know that about me. And so, it's like really being true to your own energy in the moment and allowing yourself to feel what you feel, and then enjoying playing with other people and the energy that they bring without without judgment. I mean, that was what these little children really taught me. They they loved me unconditionally, and I was just this stranger they were thrust into her classroom, and they just loved me. And so what am I going to do? I'm going to love you back, right? And wow, did we have fun. And it was inclusive. In other words, we included their families and we included whatever they brought that day. Was it always what we'd call even? No, sometimes it was extraordinarily chaotic and a lot of pushback. Like, you're not going to make somebody do anything, right? You're not going to make somebody do anything. Sure, you can become violent and force them, but even then, if we're not connecting with one another in a natural way, then it's just coercion. And there's no creation in coercion. So like what I'm getting from you is that this very good body revival is saying, okay, take the time every day to just be with yourself. I've sat in meditation sometimes and just bawled my eyes out, or started meditation and just gritted my teeth the whole time, or I'm just jumping up and down. But it's whatever it is, right? And even if it's just 3 breaths and you direct your energy before you get out of bed, you just allow yourself that moment, and then slowly but surely you'll check in and you'll start to recognize, oh, I am in control. I like myself. How can I even like myself more? How can I really honor this very good body even more? And some of the other daily practices are to journal and then to breathe 10 minutes of just resting and focusing on my breath, meditation, prayer, whatever you call it, quiet time.
me time. Yes.
Yeah, me time.
So, this program that you've been talking about, what does it include? What are the contents?
It's about four sessions, if you will, and they're guided towards just releasing the pressure. So you just sit and listen, or lie down and listen, or even walk and listen. It doesn't matter, right? But in the beginning, I would say, really give yourself, like, carve out an hour once a week to listen to each of the sessions, and begin where you feel it's the hardest for you personally. So if you feel like you've been fighting yourself mentally the most, you're at war with yourself, I would start with mental body. Your very good mental body clearing session. If you feel like you've been denying yourself the right to connect, like you maybe like you're not connecting with others, or then I would do your very good spiritual body revival. I would start with your spiritual body. If you find yourself in relationship disharmony with other people, I would start with your very good emotional body. And if you're physically feeling like you're not moving, stuff isn't moving, your energy feels really stagnant, maybe your body's not, you don't feel like you've got a lot of physical energy, then maybe start with your very good physical body session. So those are designed for you to take 1 hour, and then each day during the week of that focus, let yourself focus on what that integrative part of your body is communicating to you. Really start to hear. What are you hearing? So, like, for example, for me in the mental body, really getting off of that inner critic hamster wheel, I would start to notice ways I was talking to myself, or just doing everything without any heart, just basically like totally autopilot, you know,
Unconscious.
totally unconscious, get up, get my phone, go sit in the bathroom and look at emails, but not really read them, have no idea what they're saying, not even, this just like totally, asleep, zombie-esque, if you will.
And
Not
then you begin to become aware of belief systems
truth,
and how you've
absolute truth.
limited yourself in so many ways,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, absolutely, Lorraine, absolutely.
So these are a series of MP3s, right?
Yes,
And again,
yes,
people use their own intuition on where they start first.
yeah.
Hmm.
And then there's also included uh, 10-minute, different 10-minute meditations that have different focus. So there's one that's a pranayama breathing, which is like a 4-part breathing, where you breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold, and it's just a focus on that. And then another one where it's just a focus on feeling the breath, sending it to the body, not necessarily holding it. And then another one that's a focus on the emotional body, permission to feel whatever, and allow yourself the expression. I really recommend Julia Cameron's the morning pages, she calls them. So you get up and it's basically a dialogue with yourself wherever you're at. Sometimes it's not pretty, sometimes it makes no sense, sometimes it's a rant, a rage. It can be whatever it is. And truly, you can put anything on that page, and I highly recommend doing it. You don't even have to reread it. You can just burn the pages before reading. But really, truly, in the morning, or whenever you feel a need to express and something's just write it out. That's my way. Another way is to go for a bike ride, or to dance to music, like, or to get some colors together and just put it down. Whatever's fun for you. Sew a dress, cook a meal, whatever is fun for you, to whatever ways of artistic expression that you found, or maybe you've denied yourself the right to play with because somebody told you whatever. Sing. Singing is always good.
Yes, the world should be humming, singing, and dancing. Yes.
It takes a joyful noise to make the world go around, right?
And
Right? And like Bob
actually,
Marley said, help one
yeah,
another along the way. It makes life so much easier.
hallelujah. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Lee. This is a really wonderful conversation for anyone who wants to really work or utilize these tools. These are really tools on how you and everyone can work with our energy bodies to honor all energy bodies. Is there anything else you want to add about this program?
Well, I did, yes, because we had talked about this, Loren, and I've theta healing is the latest modality that I've discovered in my healing process, and I would like to offer anyone who wants to do this project um, two 15-minute sessions, private sessions with me in a theta healing. They we could do like the first 15 minutes, or we could do a 30-minute session before you decide to start the program, or we could do a 15-minute at the beginning and a 15-minute at the end. That's something that I wanted to add with this special offer, this gift that you've given me, to be able to get to know people and bring this out of me. Thank you so much, Loren. So that would be it. So basically, there's the 4 1-hour times that you give yourself. So you do that once a week, and then every day you do one of the 10-minute meditations, or you just set your timer for 10 minutes and focus on your breath. And honestly, please do some kind of journaling or some kind of artist date that you give yourself to allow whatever wants to express. And even if feels like a regurgitation, or it feels ugly to you, let it happen. Please let it happen. One of the biggest ways we deny ourselves the integration of our 4 level bodies is that this censor, this inner critic, this outer critic, even, because everything we are needing to create as the human race, or humanity, if you will, is to allow ourselves to really see the beauty that is this human life, and all that we have already created, and how we can steward this beautiful planet and our global community of love and human kindness and equanimity and honesty and integrity and sustainable living and true democratic governance, which is sovereign of yourself first, and then being in the world in a way that models your authentic integrity and the living God, if you will.
Yes, yes. We are evolving, and it's a cleanup process along the way,
Yeah.
unraveling from limiting belief systems, programs. Your work assists people in this, because on the flip side, once we get through it, again, that's the solution energy and the creative energy and the heart centered energy.
Yes, and
New
it feels
opportunity.
like it's really hard, and it's really it's truly only in our minds where it's hard.
Yes.
or that it's like once once you see where it is that you've been denying yourself and congested with grief and fear, really, that you've done it wrong, or that you're going to do it wrong, or that we're guilty of something that we're not, then you'll really find ways to 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 do it yourself, if you will. You'll build this house of you in ways that work for you.
For those watching and listening, if you'd like to work with Lee, you can access this very special program. The link for it is available right here on this webpage. Thank you, Lee. This has been beautiful.
Loren
And
Gailey.
we know people are inspired by you. And I wish you the best in all of your endeavors. Thank you.
And also with you, Loren. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music, available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.